Hello, good people of YouTube. My name is Nathan, and today in this video, I'll be talking about the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's, they're a baseball team, and recently, or I guess not so recently, it's been a while, but if you look at their records, they're not really a great team. And they've been in the news, and even there's a movie that came out called Moneyball about them, how they're stingy and how they're trying to get the best value out of by spending the littlest amount possible while getting the best value of their money. Um, but I decided to go to a baseball game. I went to the season opening game for this season, and I had some thoughts about my first time going to a baseball game. Thoughts about you know the general direction of the Oakland A's. What do I think of the boycott? Because I did see a lot of sell the team flags. Quite funny. And I also want to talk about what do I think of the future of the Oakland A's in baseball. I wrote a few things I saw, but let's dive in. So as this is a picture taken by me at the game. I'm in row 2 of section 105. Um, as someone who watches the Warriors games, $60 for a ticket is a great deal. But for the Oakland A's, apparently from the people I asked, whether it's like family friends or friends, they're like, "Oh, so you paid $60 for an Oakland A's ticket? Oh, that's a lot." I think it's because the Oakland A's are just their record says they're bad, so that's why people think it's not worth it. But I went there. Um, there's not a lot of people in the stands on that game, but it was still, we still did some things like the fans from this side, from the opposite side of where I was sitting. They started the human wave, and even singing songs like Root for the A's. That was still great. Watching, I think it was the end of fifth inning where we saw like a race take place where three heads, three large human heads on people were running and watching them race to the end of, I think it was around first base, right? They started at maybe like some kind of tunnel edge, I forget. Anyways, I thought it was a really cool experience. Even for my first baseball game, despite the A's losing, I think it's a really good experience. Um, I want to talk about this guy. This man. I want to say thank you. If he's watching this video, I want to say thank you because while he was, I guess, warming up or as he was catching the ball, I guess one of the pitchers on the Guardians, this is the Cleveland Guardians game. He was throwing the ball to this guy, and this guy, out of the kindness of his heart, noticed me asking for a ball, and he gave me a ball. That's memorable. That's really cool. That's amazing. I never thought I would get this ball. I think I got the ball because I was wearing red in the large crowd in the section where everyone's wearing green. And there was one Dodgers fan, but we won't talk about it. um, and so with that said about the game, obviously watching them lose, I remember seeing the Cleveland Guardians score 5 home runs. I was like, "Yep, there goes the game. We're probably not going to win." But anything's possible in baseball. You can go really hot sometimes. So I guess it was possible they could have won. They didn't score, so you not scoring doesn't help. Yeah. Anyways, I think so. That was the game. That's what I have to say about the game. The game was cool. It was good. It was a good first time experience. Big stadium. Didn't really realize how massive that was. But I want to talk about the boycott, the sell the team. I think that you know if your team has been losing so badly for like of many years, and you've consistently like shown out, and no team improvements have been made. I mean, if you look at their salary, like the starting payroll of the A's compared to like let's say the LA Dodgers, there's a huge difference, right? Right? There's no cap, right? There's no salary cap. There's no, I guess, cap on payroll for MLB teams, unlike basketball, right? Like the Warriors, they're a huge spender, right? But they pay a lot of fines, taxes, right? Fees, and everyone has a minimum, minimum amount. Have they have a max? Everyone has a maximum amount, right? That's the thing. In the MLB, no. If you are stingy and you don't want to spend money, and that could be the case for John Fisher. I don't know too much, right? I'm not really a huge focus on the Oakland A's, but let's say, let's say he wants to not spend that much money. He doesn't have to, right? This is his team. He's just ruining the experience for everybody. All the fans that continue to watch. I mean, it's rough. Watching them lose is sad. I mean, yes, they did win recently. I know they won a game, but still, it's not. It's hard. I mean, the record right now, as I'm making this video, it's 1-4. They won one game and they lost the previous four. That's not a good record. You want to be above 500, for sure to even make the playoffs, right? And they're looking like they're not going to make the playoffs all. They're looking like they're going to enter the lottery again or something. But back to the boycott. There were a lot of people who went to the boycott. There were a lot of people wearing in the stadium who were wearing the sell the team jerseys or sell the team flags, and in the fifth inning, sell the team chants ran out. I could hear them sell the team, sell the team, sell the team, and you had to join in as well because I mean everyone else is doing it too. Not that you have to do everything else because everyone else is doing it. But it was something that was a big part of the game. That was a big, I guess, it was the elephant in the room. Everyone knew what was going on, like the A's were moving to Las Vegas, and how everyone knows, like, okay, this could be the last season here at Oakland, and so I guess like there's some happy feeling because it is a season opener. It's supposed to be like, okay, let's see what our team can do, but at the same time, it's also like we know what the score is gonna be. We know even though yeah it might be close, we know we're not gonna. This is just the beginning of like a season where we might not win it. We probably won't win it. We probably will end up bottom, right? I'm saying we as in like Oakland A's fans, like we know, like probably we're not gonna do well. Um, and so the boycott, going back to boycott, yeah, a lot of people were outside. I didn't join them. Partly because I've wanted to, I spent $60 on a ticket. I'm going to make sure I use the $60 ticket to my fullest extent and go and sit and watch the game. And as a result, I was able to get a ball. Yeah, and I think it's admirable for fans to try and boycott a game, but when your opponent has billions and millions of dollars to like spend and like just he doesn't really care. He doesn't care, right? Like I don't think John Fisher, right? He doesn't. He has so much money. He doesn't care, right? He doesn't. That's the thing about billionaires and that or sports team owners, right? They can they can not, they can have the attitude of I don't care because they have the money to back them up and to support them. Be through the consequences of stuff like a boycott, right? Like John Fisher, like let's say every game is boycotted and very low attendance. Sean Fisher will be absolutely fine. His welfare will still be great. His family will be great. He will be fine. Nothing wrong will happen to him. His financial pockets might take a hit, but it's not enough to where it's like really affecting him and his livelihood, right? But for Oakland A's fan, I mean, baseball, you pay, I mean, for like the average person, right? Let's say you're making like 50K. 50K in the Bay Area is not a lot to begin with, okay? Like rent, a huge chunk is gone. Food, gone. Gas money, gone. A's games, I mean, entertainment, you want the best possible outcome value of the money you spend for entertainment. So going to watch the A's get blown out 8-0, not great. I can't blame the fans though. They're all the diehard fans. If you're essentially losing your childhood team or the team your family grew up watching or the team that for a while was competitive in the early 2000s where they were pretty good and they were famous, right? For that 20 win in a row streak they had. That was good. That was a good time. But let's talk about the future of the Oakland A's. I think, even if, let's say they get extended, because there's news right now that there could be a possible extension on their lease at Oakland. Even if they get extended, nobody's going to show up really the same, right? I expect the last game, whenever that is, whether it's this season or next season or whichever season, the last game of that season, there will be a lot of people that show up, right? But it's going to be really sad, right? Because, I mean, you're moving all the way to Las Vegas, right? The people in Oakland can't enjoy baseball unless they want to go to San Francisco, right? But then you're rooting for an entirely different team. This is why I don't think moving for the Warriors, like the Golden State Warriors, was as detrimental because you're moving. There's only one basketball team in the Bay Area, and that's the Golden State Warriors. Moving from Oakland to San Francisco isn't that much. Yeah, sure, you're adding an extra like maybe 30 minutes of travel time, but largely most people in the Bay Area are Warriors fans. Whereas Las Vegas, I don't know, and all the Oakland fans of the Warriors can go to the Warriors game still reasonably, but they're not going to pay an extra 100, $200 maybe for flights to Las Vegas back or road trips. They're not going to do that. Your average person, the person with like your average pocket of 50K after rent money, after taxes, after food costs and gas money, doesn't want to pay anything extra. We're not even talking about retirement savings yet, too. Like, take that into account. It's a lot, right? And yeah, they won't have to watch. They'll have to root for an entirely different team called the Giants, which you know I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of Oakland A's either. Because Oakland A's they they've sucked recently, but the Giants. I mean, I mainly root for basketball, so that's why I don't root for anything in baseball really. But Oakland A's, I think, will have a special part in, I guess, everyone, even if you don't really root for the Oakland A's in the Bay Area, because it represents, I guess, the grind, the ability to, you know, from the roots, from very little, do a lot. Right? I feel like that's 100 games season win into the early 2000s really meant that. And so Oakland A's, their legacy is complicated, and even at the end, it's not great, but it's still going to be fine. We still love them. All right. That's all the time I have. Have a good day. Nathan out.